Hey guys, Warren here. I know I have been lazy, but yes, I finally produced another video of shipping with my new method, and I am going to show it to you right here. I need to switch over to my alt account, and I'm going to log in and do all my sorting with it, and then switch back over to the main and do the actual shipping. The reason I do that is because I have a higher shipment computer, the alt account, and that's partially why I do it, and partially because I want to save some hydro, because obviously hydro is the name of the game. So what I'm doing here, I am going and picking up all the shipments for the on-network planets in some trips and picking up all the shipments for the off-network planets in another trip. I'm trying to do it kind of simultaneously, keep all the transports moving at the same time, just to expedite the process a little bit. But you see me here just picking up everything on the off-network shipments. I bring everything off-network into Nuclear, which is my tier 4 gas planet, and I bring on-network stuff to a couple different locations west of my starter sector and the starter sector itself. I bring it all over to my tier 3 Terran just because of proximity, and the rest of them I bring up to my tier 4 water since it will hold a lot more. I tend to fill both of them up pretty much to the brim when I do this. There are occasions when I will fill the tier 4 water a little bit beyond capacity, and I kind of have to do a little bit of shifting around, but normally that's not the case, and when it is, it's only a couple of shipments, so I can work it out, usually squeeze it onto the tier 4 gas with the off-network stuff. So I kind of have everything going here at the same time. It did take me 1 or 2 tries to kind of perfect this and get a method going that worked for me and get comfortable doing it, but it makes a lot of extra money. Not only the sorting via using shipment drone and the bonuses associated with that, but also the bonus from shipment computer, which I have shipment computer at level 6, and I'm about to get level 7, which is going to be an extra 20% on top of everything that I'm making with base value, and that adds up quite a bit. I want to say my daily income base value is somewhere around 220 or 230,000 credits. So 20% of that, you figure, is going to be 25,000 or more. No, I'm sorry, I take that back. It's a little bit more than that. It's more like 45,000. So even more of a reason to be doing it. So I'm going to start off loading some of the stuff over here at my tier 3 Terran, dumping that all off right now. And I have to do a little bit of bouncing back and forth since I'm parking on the same place that I want to pick some stuff up from. So you'll notice me doing that. Not right here, but with this particular one right here, I had to bounce back and forth between the planet and the nearby warp gate so I could get computer to activate. Yeah, it costs, I don't know, maybe another 50 or 75 hydrogen to do it, but that's not a big deal, at least not to me anyway, for the bonus that I'm getting out of it. Yep, and there we go again. So now I'm picking up all of the off-network shipments and bringing them over the tier 4 gas. As you can see, I've done this a couple of times before. I'm kind of accustomed to it at this point. Now, if you'll notice, I have not colonized a couple of my desert planets. They are very low production. I've actually gotten quite a few questions about that. They're pretty low credit production, so I didn't bother with those, partially for that and partially because, well, it's just going to make my shipments more of a pain in the neck to do. As you can see by the length of this video, from start to finish, I can do all my shipping in about 22 minutes, which I don't think is bad at all for a session of shipping. And considering I'm getting over 150,000 credits per run from that shipping, it's definitely worth the 22 minutes. I challenge you to make 150,000 credits in 22 minutes of red stars. Not going to happen. So we're starting to get some stuff over here now, and we're going to start moving the on-network shipments that are east of my starter sector over to the tier 4 water. I've pretty much gotten everything west of there. Just kind of picking up the last couple of things here. And got to dump these shipments off right here. Now, as I was talking about before, bounce back and forth between that warp gate to trigger the shipment computer as it passes by. Get those extra credits. Now you'll notice as well, I am picking up things for some on-network locations while I'm picking up the off-network ones. I'm picking up things for Cabadon because that was the place that I was dropping all the on-network shipments. So obviously I don't want to drag them over there. I want the drone to do it and get a big bonus from it, which I'm not going to get by doing it with the alternate account. So I'm picking those up and bringing them to a different location. So just picking up a few more shipments here. And like I said, I'm bringing them up to the tier 4 water, so I'm not picking that one when I pick these up. So I'm not getting the payment at base value. I'll get it at the higher value. And just cleaning up some of the stuff up top here. One thing that I find interesting about Shipment Computer is it works differently than all the other bonuses in the game for credits. You actually get the bonus on the base value of the shipment, and it's not paid out when you deliver it. It's paid out when you pick it up. So if your shipment is worth 100 credits and you pick it up with a transport that has a 20% shipment computer bonus, it's going to be worth 120 credits, and when you put it down you'll see that. So that means that you're actually getting more than the percentage bonus that it's talking about when you tack another bonus on there. If you have a 50% bonus, we'll say, on your shipment drone, and you've already boosted up your shipment value to 120% of normal, you're actually getting 60% out of that shipment drone bonus, not 50%. So a little bit of extra motivation to pick them up with computer. You're boosting the value multiple times. And just finishing up cleaning up that Terran planet right there. This does take a few minutes to do, but it is well worth it. I've done some calculations for several people that I've met throughout the game, and it really boosts your income a ton by sorting out your on-network shipments. I want to say I'm receiving close to 50,000 credits a day just by sorting, and that's pretty substantial considering out of 300,000 a day or so in just deliveries, 50,000 of it is just a bonus, and that's pretty substantial. So shipping and doing sorting for your drone is definitely worth the time. It probably only takes me 5 more minutes on top of just the gathering of my off-network shipments that I did before to do the on-network ones and drag them to a couple different places. So it's not a whole heck of a lot of extra work. I'm doing it at the same time as sorting the other stuff. So it's really not a big deal for me, and it pays pretty handsomely. So we've got probably 2 more trips on this planet here. There's the one, and the other transport is picking up the rest of the stuff. Get that stuff dumped off on the tier 4 gas. You'll notice that I'm probably going to overload here with all the shipments that I have to drag over here. So I'll end up switching back and forth between accounts just so I can pick up a few things and hold them. That's why I have the 4 transports sitting at the location, so they can kind of act as extra storage for me while I'm doing the shipping. So they're going to sit there and hold stuff to the 2 trade stations nearby, and I'll just dump those back on the planet later after I've cleared a few things off. So I'll load those up so they're out of my way, make myself a little extra room so I can get my alternate right out of there, because it can be a bit of a pain in the neck when I'm trying to tap on my transports and I'm tapping on the other transports instead. It gets kind of frustrating. So I'm just going to dump the rest of the stuff off. Should be all sitting back at the Tier 4 gas. Just about anyway. So get those all offloaded here. And we'll be ready to ship in just a second. So with the switching back and forth, the sorting of everything, I put it into 3 locations on my warp network. And it took 10 minutes to do, which isn't really bad. It's 10 minutes to sort everything and 10 minutes to ship. I get everything done with 2 transports with trade burst and trade boost within that 10-minute timer. And that's with Rush 1 on there. Rush 1 was something that also took me a little time to get used to, because I was getting to the planets and trade stations a lot faster than I was used to. So I wasn't able to take my sweet time figuring out where to put my waypoints for shipment computer to pick up everything I wanted to pick up. So again, it took a little time to get used to. So now I'm ready to ship. So I found 2 locations that are off the warp network that have at least 12 shipments, and 12 is the important number because that is the number that I need to trigger trade burst. So I want to make sure I'm delivering exactly 12 and no more. I don't want to have shipments that aren't getting trade burst if I can help it. I'm actually going to reinstall this because I only had 1 transport available with trade burst. I don't remember exactly why that was, but no matter. I'll have it. I'll make more than the 5,000 back to install it. So I'm setting all my waypoints to pick up all my stuff now from up here. I'll trigger trade burst and trade boost a couple seconds before it lands on that planet. It's going to pick up everything with computer like you were seeing before when I was sorting. And I'm going to get a lot of time saved by picking everything up automatically with computer. It's going to make it possible to make everything happen within the 10 minutes. If I were to have to unload and load everything manually, both at the travel and the return trip, it would take a lot longer to do. So not only is it nice to get that bonus, it's nice to shave some time off of the travel as well. 15 waypoints is the maximum. I wish it was more at this point, because I actually have to put some thought into what I'm picking up, because I'll run out of waypoints before I run out of places that I want to pick things up from. So I try to prioritize. Shipment computer works where the first waypoint you set past the location that you're traveling to, it's going to prioritize those as the first things to pick up. So if you have a 10-ton transport and you've got 6 things going to the first location, you set 3 waypoints. 6 things going to the first location, 5 going to the second, and 4 going to the third. It's going to pick up all 6 going to the first location, 4 from the second. It's going to leave everything else. So I try to prioritize my waypoint setting. I will set all the other off-network shipments first that I want to pick up, so I can make sure that I get all those. I don't want to make any more than 2 trips off-network if I don't have to. And by picking all those up first, I can make sure that happens. So I've got both my trade boosts and trade bursts activated. I'm going to start dumping everything off, and it's pretty much a rinse and repeat process after this. Oh, I forgot to put my drone on, so I got to put that on there. So now that I've got everything loaded up, as far as burst and boost goes, I can just pick up everything that's available on the planet and deliver it, and then take a look and see where I need to go, and just start setting waypoints to all those locations where I need to hit, and computer will do the rest for me. So I'm hitting all those spots. $20 tons is really nice to be doing this. You don't need 20 tons. I was doing it like this with 12 tons without a problem. Most of my stuff is either 12 shipments every 12 hours, the trade stations obviously, or 24 shipments, because I've got my tier 3 fire and water planets off of that network, and I've got my original Terran planet off that network, which is only 18 shipments. So I don't really have to make more than 2 trips to anything, even with 12-ton transports. 20 is just an added bonus. I can slip up a little bit, you know, if I miss a waypoint here or there with computer. It's not a big deal, because I've got the room on my transport to not have to worry about it. So we're getting down here. Got a couple more locations to hit. I'm gonna need to start offloading the shipments to the trade stations. And the planets can get a little filled up at this point when I have to start offloading all this stuff. If that's the case, I'll just grab the stuff for the off-network shipments to the planets I've already delivered to and put them on the transport just temporarily to hold them there. And that seems to work out pretty good for me. I don't want to be pulling away shipments that the drone could be picking up, because that's obviously going to make some valuable room for me. So if I don't need to pick those up, I don't do it. So dump the rest of this stuff off here, and I have to do the East Trade Station, and it looks like I ran out of room. So we're gonna have to mix some stuff up here. Oh, maybe I didn't run out of room. There we go. Can you tell I'm doing a voiceover on this and I recorded it a long time ago? No, you can't tell that. Alright. So take a quick look here, see where everything's got to go, and it looks like that's going to be the last of the original trips that I needed to make. So I just basically got to do cleanup here after this delivery. Oh, and it looks like I missed a couple shipments, but like I said, I usually prioritize those off-network ones, so it's not a big deal. I can just swing back through and pick everything up that I missed, and it'll all be it'll all be on-network stuff. And drone will just clean that up later when I come back around. So make one more trip. If I gotta pick up a few off-network shipments here and there as I do it, just take a quick look at those planets, see where those shipments are going. They usually go to only 1 or 2 places, and I can set my waypoints accordingly for them. And I'm pretty much done at this point. And we're 18 minutes into this process. And for a 12 planet system with 3 trade stations, I don't think that's too bad. So just picking up those extra couple shipments there that I left behind. I didn't have anything going to that trade station, so I didn't have to send a boosted and bursted transport over there. This planet up top, this is the one that usually clogs up my planet, because I'm gonna be pulling another 16 shipments off of there and unloading them. I usually try to save that for near the end, so I don't gum up the works with it. Let drone do its business a little while before I do that. And we're pretty much cleaned out here. Use the time modulator a little bit, just at the very end. I don't really use it much, other than maybe 30 seconds to a minute of it, just for these wait times. Once once I get everything back to the planet, I don't want to be wasting precious seconds of the boost and burst timer, so I usually turn it off while I'm doing all that stuff so I can load and unload. Obviously it doesn't make loading and unloading any faster, so kind of pointless to have it running while I'm trying to load and unload transports. And I got 1 or 2 shipments from that tier 1 Terran. Gotta pick those up during the path down there. We'll get those. And just do the cleanup here. Looks like we got everything. And that's the end of that. Thanks for watching.